trials for 6 months old and up. So we should see now in the spring and the summer data coming in telling us that it's a vaccine safe for children, but actually more importantly, what is the right dose that we give to children.
Currently, the Pfizer vaccine has been approved for use in those 16 and older. Moderna and AstraZeneca's shots have been given the thumbs up for those 18 and older thus far. Coming in 60 seconds, we will check the roads in your extended forecast. 680 News Time 150.
This Easter, I'm shopping early at Sobeys, picking up some delicious deals for my family, like panache appetizers, breaded butterfly shrimp.
My biggest concern was trying to find my matches.
And 2 liters of Chaplin's ice cream is just $2.99.
So last night around 3 in the morning, some woman got kidnapped, presumably, and I think they said Mississauga, but I think it was Mississauga, was it? Or Brampton, one or the other. Oh, I really haven't talked to the police, but I think I better call this one in. Oh, I don't know what it is that attracts these people to me. They're looking for somebody random to victimize. Okay, where do I come into this? Yeah, I probably better should. I'm gonna see this motherfucker outside again. Guarantee. I know this motherfucker. I think it's funny how white meth heads just attract to me like fucking flies to a spider web.
Wireless. I'll start with some good news. Westbound Queen Elizabeth went the 403 and Oakville. Problems have been cleared away.
Can you hear the rain?
Delay on the westbound QEW to travel by the Ford plant. And eastbound QEW, that's slow approaching Royal Windsor to Ford Drive. Southbound 404 Don Valley, delays approaching Shepherd over the 401 to south of Lawrence. But for the most part, the northbound Don Valley Parkway looks good from the Gardner up towards the 401. On the westbound Gardner, it's a bit busy from about the DVP to west of Cherry to that construction where you're reduced to 2 lanes only. But again, no big problems or massive delays on the QEW or the Gardner as you travel into and out of downtown. And the 401, the 400, 427, all of the routes are looking good. Rogers Days to Save is on now. Shop today and get our best savings on devices.
He's the guy that robbed the purse 6 months ago? Could be the same fucking guy. That's the only I can't.
The next report is at 2:01. Now with the forecast, here is Jason Fraser.
Well, Christina, I have some good news for those of you that live in Oakville as well as Mississauga. You're starting to see the rain come down. But those of you in Markham, Newmarket, as well as Toronto right now, we're seeing some either moderate to heavier rain bands moving across the region. It's pretty much the same over in Oshawa as well as Ajax right now. So the system continues to move eastward. And even though you may be on the western edge of the GTA Milton, I am expecting another round of some rain showers at some point today. This is all part of a massive storm that extends all the way from our area down to state of Louisiana.
Different white boy.
Overnight will drop down to a low temperature of
Try hitting me with his car door.
For tomorrow, and a high of 9 degrees tomorrow night. Clear skies.
I love how people play things up. The nigger must have started it. He deserves what he gets. Okay. Well, I'm trying to prevent this idiot from robbing old ladies. Not actively, not like I'm going after this motherfucker. Yeah, if you're driving and someone not in your car is like waving you down doing this, they're telling you to call the fucking cops or an ambulance or something. Trying to hit me with your car, buddy, you're fucked up now. Who you think been watching your car the last year to make sure nobody smashed it up in like
Phillips Square in just a few moments. We will tell you more about it.
Here.
Field police continue to search for 23-year-old.
Well, I'm standing inside the car because he's turning, right?
Kidnapped
He decides to open the door and try to hit me with it.
Earlier this morning, police also on the lookout for.
I don't know why your car got vandalized last time when I wasn't looking. Now I know.
Armed and dangerous. And Ontario reports more than 2,000 COVID-19 cases. It's the 5th straight day. There have been more than 2,100 across the province.
Don't call this in. If somebody does and describes this motherfucker, the description will come across very similar to me. That's helpful.
From tires to service repairs, maintaining your vehicle ensures maximum longevity and performance. Active Green & Ross has the factory-approved maintenance and service equipment, as well as trained technicians to get the job done right and keep your vehicle warranty valid. From tires to tune-ups, there's no better place to service your vehicle than See store for details. As we continue to live through the pandemic,
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day.
for the latest on the vaccine and what's happening in schools, healthcare, and the economy.
We're here for you.
On your radio, online,
And on your smart speaker.
this is 680 News.
The nominees for the Canadian Screen Awards are just a few days away.
The awards honor the Best in Canadian Film and Television award.
They're just going to be entitled to less severance because they earn less, but they're still entitled to severance.
Let's get to one quick email here. The last minute we got here. Lisa says, what recourse do I have if my employer stops paying my salary because they say they have no money?
Well, as a legal matter,
Nothing.
you have a case for
No
unpaid
recourse.
wages and constructive dismissal. And as a practical matter, you don't have a lot of time. So Lisa, please give us a call right away, because if your employer really has no money and they're not paying you anything, they may be about to go bankrupt, and that is not a situation you want to be in. So give us a call.
Or worse,
Good
not
way to wrap it up,
file
John.
for
It's done. I am
protection.
done. And you
Either which way.
Disability Law
Employees
Show.
come
Just wanna reach
last.
out now to John, a member of his team.
It's, creditors, then owners, then employees.
5900 help@employmentlawyer.ca, and the website also useful, and it's completely free. That would be pocketemploymentlawyer.ca. We'll catch you next time. Employment Law Show here on Global News Radio.
The preceding was a paid commercial program. Unless otherwise identified, the guests on the program are employees of or otherwise represent the advertiser. The opinions expressed therein are those of the advertiser and do not necessarily reflect the views and policies of Global News Radio 640 Toronto. Go to agmrenovations.com.
AGMRenovations.com.
680 News Time, 156. Now
The problem is if he gets picked up, he'll get a chance to clean up and dry up. I'd rather he'd be out there strung out, getting fucked up and die. That's usually what happens.
Competitive compact luxury SUV segment. It's the first brand to sell cars completely online with at-home delivery at a no-haggle, all-inclusive price. Now its fifth year in Canada, Genesis is adding brick-and-mortar locations to connect its growing product.
Don't care. But your big thing last year was you don't have dealerships, so.
And companionship. So most times they're pretty good. From what I'm hearing from clients who are going is that the lineups, there's no lineups, and so they're not making seniors with mobility aids, for instance, waiting an hour for their vaccine. But they do have to wait around. Yeah, it is wonderful. It's well organized, which I appreciate on behalf of our seniors. And
I appreciate on behalf of our team. You're useless. You're useless.
To bring their vehicle for service and wait in one of our lounges. So giving that the customer choice is essential.
And as other retailers look at going digital and rethinking their retail footprints, Genesis is taking a planned approach to its storefronts.
We're doing it in a smart way. We're doing it, I like to say, made to measure for the business. So our partners, we have 30 across Canada, they're going to be building these Genesis retail experience centers, and usually from 7 to 10,000 square feet. Our competitors are building 30 to 60,000 square feet buildings and maybe 20 cars in the showroom. We don't need that because we want to create this brand center, and it's a complement to our digital e-commerce. So we're creating this omni-channel experience, and that enables flexibility also inside, so we don't have to overinvest.
That's Richard Trevisan with Genesis Canada, and at the Business Center, I'm Tim Demopoulos.
What could be better than starting the golf season with a shot at winning the ultimate foursome? Presented by TaylorMade and the Copper Creek Golf Group. The ultimate foursome prize pack includes custom club fittings at the TaylorMade Performance Lab for you and 3 friends, 4 full sets of clubs, 4 complimentary rounds at Copper Creek, Peninsula Lakes, Upper Unionville, and Watson's Glen. Make this your ultimate season with the ultimate foursome. Brought to you by TaylorMade and the Copper Creek Golf Group. Visit ccgolf.ca to enter today.
does the complexity of real estate have you rethinking if moving is even worth it? At Properly.ca, we're bringing common sense to real estate, helping you buy and move into your new home before you even list the one you're in. While you enjoy the comforts of your new home, Properly will prep, list, and show your old one to get you the best price on the market. Your experienced Properly real estate agent will guide you through the process, helping you move on your terms.
There's a smarter way to move, the Properly way. Visit Properly.ca to get started today.
Right now in downtown Toronto, lots of light rain. It's 6 degrees. It feels like +2 with wind. Mike Leach is the afternoon show editor. Madison Fitzpatrick is at the digital desk. Amber LeBlanc is our news director. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 2 o'clock.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
It's Sunday, March 28th. Good afternoon. I'm Zach Bodenstein. I'm Asher Brott. Here's what's making news right now.
Feeling a rise in fear since the pandemic began.
Here to get onto public transit.
Torontonians speak out against anti-Asian hate at Nathan Phillips Square.
It's much worse for
We are
anti-black.
treating this investigation as a...
Since there's a fucking majority here.
21-year-old
Jesus
suspect allegedly
Christ.
forced a woman into his car.
As COVID-19 cases in the province hover over 2,100 for the fourth straight day, variants first seen in the UK have
7-day
risen more
rolling
than
average
3
over
times
2,000.
since yesterday.
Toronto wants to make sure the lack of a ride to your appointment is not the reason you don't get the vaccine. A transportation pilot project kicks off tomorrow.
Really? I thought it was because I'm an anti-vaxxer and I have misinformation and I have hesitancy.
Spring training, the Raptors welcome Norm
It's like the
Powell,
virus is going to develop resistance to the vaccine,
16
which is backwards thinking.
And coming up in
Well, I don't know why I
business,
started
two
this
recent
video.
university graduates start a bra brand for tweens in the middle of the pandemic.
680 News Time 201. Traffic
on the
and
news.
weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by Monte Carlo Inns. Earlier trouble southbound on the 404 Major Mackenzie fully cleared away. No delay to that stretch any longer, although it is busy on the southbound 404 Don Valley from approaching Shepherd, off and on to south of Lawrence. Northbound Don Valley Parkway is still in good shape, and no troubles east or westbound on the 401 across the GTA. Just be aware we have rain, slick conditions, flooding and ponding in many areas around the city too, so please take your time on your travels. Eastbound QEW is heavy approaching Royal Windsor to Ford Drive. At Monte Carlo Inns, it's
That's
their
what I
goal
need
to be
to
your
know.
home away from home.
Canada's-
Stay connected with their winter packages. Enter promo code WINTER at MonteCarloInns.com. Your next report is at 2:11, and now with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Well, Christine, we continue to see some rain showers moving across the GTA, and I'm expecting us to get a break from the rain here within the next hour or two. Overnight, we'll drop down to -2 degrees, and we could end up seeing just a few flurries develop as well. 7 degrees right now at Pearson, our guaranteed high, 11 degrees.
680 News Time 202. Happening now at Nathan Phillips Square, a rally to end Asian hate is just getting underway. It comes after a rise of anti-Asian racism around the world. 680's Caitlin Lee is following the protest and joins us live.
That is a big truck.
In response to a rising sense of fear during the pandemic,
Oh, a rising sense of
anti-Asian hate
fear.
across
That's
Canada
usually
has been
too.
escalating. The Chinese Canadian National Council released a report this week showing over 1,100 incidents across Canada since last March. Most of those incidents happen in public spaces like parks, streets, or sidewalks. Toronto Councillor Kristen Montan says she's heard from Asian seniors in the community who are afraid of taking public transit, aware they could be targets of racism.
Toronto is the most diverse city, and yet despite our diversity and our striving for inclusion, when we see hate or when hate and racism manifests itself, I believe that we have a collective responsibility to respond to it.
Montan will be speaking at the rally this afternoon. This rally also comes in the wake of the murders of 6 Asian women in a mass shooting in Atlanta this month. In that
Because they were all
report,
sex workers.
60% of the victims identified as women. The event is being live streamed on Facebook
What?
as we speak, and
They
many
identified as women, or they were
showed up in person
identified
at Nathan Phillips Square with their signs. Reporting live, I'm Caitlin Lee.
with their
680
signs.
News Time 204. Peel police continue to search for both a victim and a suspect in an alleged kidnapping in Brampton. 23-year-old Selena Ook was last seen in the Mississauga and Mayfield Roads area just before 3 o'clock this morning before being forced into a vehicle by a man. Here's
1997, you named your kid
Just
Selena.
before 3 this morning in the area of Mississauga and Mayfield Roads, witnesses reported a man banging on the front door of a woman's home. Police arrived, interacted with the suspect, and then one of those officers attempted to stop the 21-year-old by discharging their firearm.
Then the male is seen fleeing in a vehicle. There's a female is inside the vehicle as well. She's 23 years old. And at this point, we believe that she is in that vehicle unwillingly. So we are treating this investigation as a kidnapping incident.
Here's Officer Heather Cannon with the Peel Regional Police Force.
Kwame Garwood is armed and dangerous. If anybody sees this vehicle, sees him, to contact police right away. Do not approach him. Dial 911
Black Honda
She
Civic.
says the suspect and victim know each other. Their relationship is not clear. Suspect vehicle is described as a black Honda Civic, license plate number B.
Well, I need that.
These can be found at 680news.com. The SIU has also been called in, as is the case following any interaction involving police where there's been death, serious injury, or allegations of sexual assault. I'm Adam Steinberg.
Fired a shot. Nobody knows where the victim went.
2:06. Ontario is set to further loosen pandemic restrictions in the coming days, even as the province's rolling 7-day average of COVID-19 cases climbed back over 2,000. We'll have more on which activities are permitted tomorrow in just a moment. But first, 680's Madison Fitzpatrick breaks down the latest numbers.
Ontario is reporting 2,448 new cases of COVID-19 today, with 19 new deaths from the virus. There are 780 new cases in Toronto, 356 in Peel region, and 278 in York region. The province says over 50,200 tests were completed, with almost 65,000 vaccines administered. Meantime, Toronto Mayor John Tory spoke about vaccinations in the city during the opening of the clinic at the Melbourne Community Centre.
I continue to urge people to get registered and to get vaccinated. We have the clinics, we have the vaccines, we have the staff in place to do it, and we have the appointments. So all we need now is you. And it's very, very important for people across the city of Toronto to get vaccinated.
The province also reported over 100 new variants first seen in the UK, which is a huge increase since yesterday only reported 29. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick.
This is 680 News at 2:07. Now, the city of Toronto wants to make sure getting a ride to your appointment is not an obstacle to get your COVID-19 vaccine. 680's Moment Qureshi has details.
Oh, but all us poor people buying up cars is going to pollute the whole world.
Equity transportation plan. These ride programs deliver their service through a collaborative network of city and Ministry of Health funded community support agencies.
Mayor Tory says the program is targeted at seniors who are eligible to get the vaccine but don't have a way to get to their appointment.
This program is intended only for seniors who have no other options for transportation to vaccination.
No, I know somebody out there's going to say, you will have a responsibility. You're supposed to call that in and do something about it. Yeah.
Details of how to book a ride with these service providers is available on the City of Toronto's website, toronto.ca.
Grocery store security kicked them out. The coffee shop owner doesn't seem to comprehend the level of the problem.
I'm Moment Qureshi.
Because it's only me he's trying to stab.
In the gray zone, even as one community in the greater Golden Horseshoe moves back to lockdown protocol. 680's Michelle Morton explains.
In Ontario,
You know, I'm going to be frank. People are tired. I'm telling you, they're tired. They're exhausted out there. They need a little bit of fresh air. But please do it very carefully. That's all we're asking.
that from Premier Doug Ford announcing some businesses under gray lockdown will have some leeway in less than 24 hours. Starting tomorrow, outdoor fitness classes, sports, and personal training will allow 10 people at a time with active screening. Every person must maintain a physical distance of 3 meters from the other participant.
3?
And after allowing restaurants to
Oh, so for you white people that exercise, it's 3, but you keep telling me you don't know what I'm talking about when you've been told for years. Don't come within 10 feet of us acting smart. You've been told for years. If you come back with, I'm wearing a mask, oh, you're afraid of COVID. What the fuck is COVID? Get the fuck away from me. My dog's named COVID. I'm going to feed you to him.
Well, the Raptors hit the court again tonight with the Trailblazers visiting Tampa. And as we hear from Ben Lewis at Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Raps will be facing a very familiar face.
It is a very immediate welcome back tonight. The Raptors taking on the Trailblazers from Amalie Arena in Tampa, a team they worked to trade with just ahead of the deadline on Wednesday that sent guard Norm Powell to the Trailblazers in exchange for Gary Trent Jr. and Rodney Hood. Powell spent 6 seasons in Toronto, and this year may be his best. He's averaging averaging a career-high 19.7 points per game. He's also already had an immediate impact on Portland, scoring 22 in a win over the Magic Friday. The Raptors are hoping to return to the win column after a tough loss to Phoenix. Tip tonight is set for 7 on Sportsnet. From the Sports Desk, I'm Ben Lewis. This is 680 News.
It's Theater Night in Canada.
And we're chosen. We're special. We're more superior to all of you because we're blonde-haired, blue-eyed Middle Easterners. Right. That makes a lot of sense, bro.
Canada needs to speak out when we have in the past on apartheid. We can actually push world and global attention in the right direction. And so Michael's been doing a great job, Teddy Chu. Many of our MPs have been strong, principled supporters.
Would you, Mr. O'Toole, respond to the Chinese government, excluding whatever Mr. Trudeau may or may not do? He's done very little.
I think this guy's planning to jump ship from the Conservatives, because what happened was
and reply in kind to the Chinese
he became the leader of the party at a point where the party's not expected to win. They like that right after an election, and that they didn't win.
Well,
so he's got to go 4 years and then hopefully win that election. So it's not going to happen.
That's Canadian sanction against Chinese officials for their treatment of the two Michaels, Mr. Coburn and Mr. Staver, who were taken as basically diplomatic hostages for the Communist Party to make a point. We should also use sanctions for the Uyghur genocide in Xinjiang, and we should press our allies to take the same approach. So I'm actually really happy to see the U.S. administration, Australia, many other countries showing leadership here. I think Australia has not been showing leadership. We're not aligned with our country.
No, I understand that, Mr. O'Toole. Sorry to interrupt you, but would you have an option? Yeah, we have an opportunity to instruct your caucus to reply in kind or respond in kind to China. Because China is now taking on, sanctioned one of your MPs, you have the opportunity to act independently of the federal government and instruct your caucus to act similarly toward Chinese interests.
Well, we have been wrong. In fact, in the fall, we voted, and Parliament voted to ban Huawei from the 5G infrastructure. It was our motion that recognized the Uyghur genocide. We have raised cases of Chinese communist espionage within Canada.
So the Conservatives are the most racist party in Canada, but they got a lot of Chinese members. I'm not saying the Chinese are the racists. It's weird how this works.
The bad actions from the communist regime in Beijing. This is why they sanctioned Mr. Chong as the most senior Canadian parliamentarian, because the Conservatives have been showing the leadership in the absence of leadership from Mr. Trudeau.
Okay, so what I was getting at, and I don't want to stick on this point because there are other things to talk to you about, but what I was getting at is that you could say to your caucus individually, you will have no dealings at all with China at the same level that they banned our caucus colleague from dealing with them. And let me move on to this. Doug Ford took the gloves off, challenging the federal government on vaccine rollout and vaccine supply, saying the situation is a joke. Mr. O'Toole, what does it say to you, and what do you say to Justin Trudeau about the vaccine rollout? Because you know Mr. Trudeau's insisting all will be fine by the end of summer. What do you think is going to happen?
All is not fine when Canada's in 50th or 60th place in the deployment of vaccines. That's a failure of leadership at the federal level. And Mr. Premier Ford and other premiers have to deal with the federal failure, and they're doing their best, but they have little supply. So we've been calling since the fall, Roy, for clarity and honesty with Canadians on where we stand. Mr. Trudeau keeps hoping that he can beg, borrow, and steal vaccines. What it means is we're going to have a slower reopening of our economy, a slower economic regrowth, because we're going to be months behind countries like the United States that has already vaccinated 4 times our...
If you're looking for more serious fare, you should check out The Father.
Who's that?
Sorry?
Where is he?
I'm here. This film stars Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman, both Oscar-winning actors, as an elderly father struggling with dementia and his middle-aged daughter, respectively, struggling with her father's mental state. You can watch it on your video demand service of choice. With the must-watch, I'm James Mackin.
Today's showstopper at TSC is the
weather shortcuts. Report severe weather, Canadian weather, Weather Radar Canada, Satellite Canada, Marine Canada, Air Quality, Canadian Ice Service, Seasonal Forecast, Extended Forecast, Public Alerts Canada, Lightning, Hurricane, Weather Summaries, Hazardous Weather, Global and Regional Forecast Models, Astronomy. Astronomy? I didn't see that though. Water level and flow, historical, I think it's historic, whatever. Historical climate data, aviation, guide to public forecast, guide to marine forecast, guide to air quality forecast, Canadian Center for Climate Services Library, wind chill and humidex calculators, that could be useful, weather and your health. I'm just trying to find how many millimeters of rain fell the last few days or weeks or whatever.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
6 degrees and overcast in downtown Toronto. Good afternoon. I'm Zach Bodenstein. And I'm Asher Rod. Here are the top stories right now. Torontonians responding to a rise in anti-Asian racism across the world. A rally is being held at Nathan Phillips Square this afternoon. Councillor Kristen Wong-Tam tells 680 News, despite our diverse culture, it's still a problem in our city.
Weather summaries.
Police continue
Scroll down to Ontario, click it. No weather summaries at this time. We don't have weather.
Road and Mayfield in Brampton
I
early
just
this
want to
morning. It
know.
happened just before 3 o'clock.
I should have put a glass up there and just
21-year-old
waited.
Kwame Garwood is on our website. The Ford government's loosening restrictions for regions in the gray zone, including outdoor fitness classes, haircuts, nail salons, and outdoor bars. It comes with Ontario reporting 2,448 cases of COVID-19, bumping the 7-day rolling average up to its highest mark since January.
I didn't title the video. This is the morning after that Gemini Neuralgia episode.
Now, 680 Sports with Ben Lewis.
A fan and team favorite gets welcome back tonight. The Raptors take on the Portland Trailblazers.
Economic recovery that includes everyone, and that's going to be the big difference between an ideological reimagining liberal plan and a conservative plan that will get
for the city of Monterano there?
in
No.
all sectors and all regions.
Okay, the Conference Board of Canada told us
Right.
that in January there was a
This
significant
is
job recovery.
these
And
are
I
the
spoke to
fucking
the chief economist of
donkeys.
the Conference Board at the time. But
go.
you have specific
All those
plans in
links I
place
just
to
read
drive
off.
the economy
Oh,
forward.
rainfall.
And,
Is there not a
this is something we're gonna talk
rainfall?
about another time. I only have a few
Historic
minutes here. Let
rainfall.
me get at this other issue that I want to talk to you about. You're a veteran of the CAF. The investigation into sexual misconduct in the Canadian
The
Armed
fuck is the
Forces.
CAF? Yeah, Canadian
I
Armed
think it's
Forces.
involved
It's
into
Canadian
a not my
Forces.
fault, his
Presume we're
fault
armed when you see the word
Parliament.
Canadian.
Do you agree with that? As
Search
a former member
Canada.ca.
of the,
Rainfall. How about
Ontario, former
rainfall?
Veterans Affairs Minister, who got some very high praise from veterans
Whoa.
organizations I spoke with about you. Do you think women in the military are assured at all that this issue is being responsibly dealt with?
6,795 search results.
Because
Thank you.
Mr. Trudeau has not accepted
Yeah.
responsibility for 3 years. His
And,
office, his advisors, and I believe himself, they were aware of
I need
serious
a rainfall
allegations
warning.
against the last Chief of Defense Staff, General Vance. Not only did they not do anything following the Ombudsman raising it, they gave him an extension of his contract and a raise.
Rainfall.
We need a full-blown independent inquiry. We need a freeze on all promotions for general officers and salary increases to show that we take this seriously. In fact, in recent days, we've learned Minister
Toronto
Sajan
Island.
misled
7 days
Canadians
419
on
search
whether he
results
was
for
involved in
rainfall.
giving General Vance a raise. This is a government that actually resorts
This is not
to misleading Canadians rather than showing they're going to hold people to account for their conduct.
Okay, one more quick question. If you were Prime Minister today, would we be in better shape as far as the vaccines are concerned than we are now? If you've been Prime Minister for the last 2 years, would we be in better shape? Would people not be waiting 4 months for their second vaccinations?
Yes. In fact, last spring, Roy, I said Canada needed to be self-sufficient on everything from masks and PPE and ventilators to vaccines. We needed to secure the ability to make a vaccine here at home.
249
so that we weren't
search results
left
for
to the
historic
vagaries of
rainfall
global supply.
throughout.
We saw
Damn
how
it.
masks couldn't be obtained because planes weren't taking off to their intended destination from overseas.
Masks
We
don't
needed
come on
that capacity
planes,
here.
stupid.
And as I said in my speech to my convention, a century ago this year, we supplied insulin, discovered it for the world. Today, we have to rely on other people for our vaccine.
And if you have diabetes, you pay out of pocket for your medication. All of it. It's the most expensive. The insulin and EpiPens are the two most expensive things out there. I don't know why you idiots are robbing pharmacies for oxys. There's nobody to sell them to. They're all dead.
Be well, Roy. Thank you.
You too, Aaron O'Toole, the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. Let me come to you, and let's do this a little differently than we normally do.
I can't find the fucking rainbow.
Let me just ask people in the province of Ontario to call in, and I had a reason to do this.
Stop and
because assuming there'll be a federal election, I had other questions for Mr. O'Toole, but because China issued the sanctions against Michael Chong, I had to get that question in and spend some time on it. There were some other things I wanted to talk to him in the 10 minutes we had. Anyway, assuming there'll be a federal election in 2021,
you know, it's probably down 80-90% compared to if you weren't vaccinated.
And he says that as more people get vaccinated, more opportunities open up.
I do think we can do a lot more. It's not just small family gatherings. We can have friends over. We can have probably larger gatherings indoors, especially if everybody is vaccinated.
The advisors continue.
How many people have you known in your life to get HIV, bro? Under 40 years? How many?
220.
The Out of Vote for All event is back. That means pretty much anyone can save big on a German-engineered Volkswagen, like the turbocharged, fun-to-drive Jetta for all, or the versatile Tiguan with an available third row for all. Even if you can't tell Schnitzel from Lederhosen, you can still get 0% financing for up to 36 months on select models, plus complimentary 3 years, 45,000-kilometer prepaid maintenance valued up to $989. But there's just 1 week left, so hurry into your local Volkswagen dealer before March 31st.
Subway Restaurants introduces new potato bun sidekicks. Soft buns made with Canadian potatoes, stacked with quality ingredients. Try all 4 mouth-watering varieties: honey mustard ham, savory turkey ranch, Italian aioli, and chipotle chicken. Starting at $2.99 for a limited time. New potato bun sidekicks. Subway, eat fresh. Freshly made for order at participating shops. Excludes delivery. Extras additional. Plus tax. No additional discounts. Coupons apply.
680 News Time 221. Now traffic and weather together. Let's check your drive with Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by Hickory Dickory Decks. Well, I'm looking at a couple of problems on the Don Valley Parkway. First of all, if you're traveling on the southbound 404 Don Valley, you'll find it busy approaching the 401 to south of York Mills. And now there's a stalled vehicle southbound DVP approaching Don Mills. It's in the left lane, so you'll find it starting to slow from south of Eglinton as you make your way to south of Don Mills. And we also have problems on the northbound Don Valley Parkway. Technically, they're on the ramp from Don Mills to the northbound Don Valley Parkway. That ramp is now blocked because of a crash. So police have it blocked off altogether, and motorists on the northbound side are slowing to look at this problem as well. So that's northbound Don Valley Parkway. The ramp from Don Mills is closed. Elsewhere, you'll find it a pretty decent drive on the 401 across the GTA. Eastbound QEW is busy approaching Royal Windsor to Ford Drive with typical volume, and no troubles on the Governor Expressway along the south end of the city. Celebrating over 30 years of custom decks and happy customers, Hickory Dickory Decks offers the widest selection of low-maintenance decking. Enjoy life outdoors. Visit decks.ca. Your next report is at 2:31. Now with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Well, Christine, some good news for those of you on the western side of the GTA. You guys are just seeing cloud cover. We're even starting to see a little bit of some clear water downtown Toronto. But those of you on the east side, including Trippz as well as Oshawa right now, also seeing some pretty heavy rain showers. Even Peterborough right now, also seeing some light to moderate rain showers. So we'll continue to keep the cloud cover on the forecast for the rest of the afternoon. I think the bulk of the heaviest rain showers has continuing to exit our region, but there's still a slight chance for seeing some rain showers for the latter half of this afternoon. Could even see a few flurries tonight. Low temperature of -2. Tomorrow's high will be around 9 degrees, along with some sunshine. Tuesday, we'll see a mix of some sun and clouds. It'll be the warmest day of the week, though. We'll see a high near 15 degrees. 8 degrees right now at Pearson. Our guaranteed high, 11 degrees.
Hello, beer drinkers of Ontario. Are you tired of waiting in lines, trying to spend as little time out and about as possible? Cameron's Brewing has the solution for you. I'm Clint Israel, president of Cameron's in Oakville. We've been doing it right since 1997. We've won over 250 brewing awards. We are now offering...
You're looking for this Easter at Sobeys, Canada's family grocery store. See flyer for details.
You're evil. It's simple. If you're talking about it, we're talking about it and analyzing it. We are your news talk leader, 640 Toronto. Straight talk, no nonsense, honest debate. This is the Roy Green Show.
We'll have some more political debate and discussion on this program later on today when Scott Moe joins us, the Premier of Saskatchewan, and Charlie Angus, the member of Parliament for Timmins James Bay, on the Parliamentary Ethics Committee's issues. Well, so let's find out how Ontarians plan to vote. And I said 416-905, but it's not just those area codes. Up in the 705 area code in Sudbury, here's Cliff. Cliff, how are you going to vote? Have you decided?
I will be voting for the Progressive Conservative Party.
So the Conservative Party of Canada.
Pardon me?
The Conservative Party of Canada, because Progressive Conservative is provincial, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And give me a quick reason why.
The reason being is because I'm tired of money going out of this country to support other countries, and we have enough issues in our own country that we need to take care of for homeless.
This country is subsidized by third world countries. We make deals. So if you get from the World Monetary Fund or the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, any type of financing, you are required to sell to us at a loss and buy from us at a marked up price the same goods. We sell you rice for $2 a pound. You have to sell it to us for $1 a pound. So we aren't helping any of these third world countries.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because there is no tool, the slow issue, the change on the carbon tax. I think it's time to blow the Conservatives up, and we need a real leader like Pierre Poilievre.
Okay, thanks for the call. But if you don't vote, don't you give up your right to engage after the election?
No, because you're stupid and you're a radio man and you're about 10 years younger than George Carlin, and you're trying to pull a fast one because your audience is too fucking stupid to know what you just did.
So what's going on here? Because when the elections roll around, 905 and 416 almost invariably go liberal.
Well,
is it just conservative? Is it just conservative voters who are calling it?
Maybe, but I think people are getting fed up. Trudeau bragged about going to be an open and transparent government, and he's been very wheezy and greasy and proroguing Parliament to avoid answering questions. And he's been very poor with the money. We're very, very far in debt.
Okay, I got you, Steve. I appreciate the call. Thank you. By the way, I can hear most of what you're saying, but not everything, because my headphone amp has blown up. And so I just hear a muffled sound like a mouse trying to sing opera. Ryan in Toronto. How are you, Ryan? Hello, Ryan.
You just said your headphones don't work. What
Ryan, go ahead, please. Ryan, are you there? Stop playing with the phones, guys. Go ahead, Ryan. Okay, Ryan's not there. Roger's in Muskoka. Roger, please go ahead, sir.
Okay. Yes, Roy, and I'm going to be voting Conservative because I can't stand what the Liberal government has done for all the time they've been in. And I really, I'm from Muskoka where we have a Conservative member, but I really hope that 905 and 416 people wake up and see what a disaster Trudeau is to this country.
Thank you, Roger, in Muskoka 705 area code. So for the rest of the country listening in, those were calls as they came in. We didn't screen anybody, and everyone will be thrilled if you hear those calls. We will come back on the Chorus Radio Network.
Love the thrill of a real mystery? Then you'll love the podcasts available from CBC, like Brainwashed.
Your objective was to wipe my memory.
Evil by Design.
Peter Nygaard is the most prolific sexual offender to date.
Uncover, Escaping Nexium.
What is mind control? Was it possible that someone could control someone else's mind?
And someone knows something.
There was a scream in the film like that.
Listen to critically acclaimed true crime podcasts from CBC. Available now on CBC Listen or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm so over this. I don't even know anyone who's had COVID-19. And it's not like I'm at risk. We don't see many people, just a few neighbors and close friends. It's fine. We wear a mask and everything. We're really careful.
Excuses won't stop the spread of the deadly COVID-19 virus. Until we all get the vaccine, stay home as much as possible. Visit ontario.ca/COVID-19 for more information. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Sarah, this is Charlotte, our newest and youngest junk fairy.
I'm happy to meet you, Charlotte. I'm Sarah.
Submissions are due by April 1st. For details, visit talkwithourkidsaboutmoney.com. Alexa, what station has the best breaking news, traffic, and weather?
680 News, obviously.
Right now in downtown Toronto, it's 6 degrees. Looks like that rain stopped in some areas, mainly overcast right now, feeling more like 3. This is CFTR 680 News and 680 News time at the double tones, 2:30.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
This is Sunday, the 28th of March. Good afternoon. I'm Asher Broad. I'm Zach Bodenstein. Here's what's making news right now.
Torontonians speak up, rallying to stop an escalating amount of anti-Asian hate crimes in Canada.
The search continues for a 23-year-old Brampton woman and her armed and dangerous captor. Police say they have now located the vehicle she was allegedly forced into.
For the 4th straight day, Ontario is reporting more than 2,100 new cases of COVID-19, while the number of people on ventilators has risen to above 200.
If you live in Toronto and are eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine but don't have a way to get to your appointment, starting tomorrow, the city is launching a pilot project to provide you with transportation.
Happening now, it is Blue Jays and Tigers in spring training. Gonzaga is taking on Creighton in the Sweet 16, and the Raptors get set for Norm Powell in Portland tonight. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, are you still using cash? Well, if you are, it seems you're in the minority in Canada, according to a new report from Square.
Our company who's on the way down is telling us what we're doing. They've been in business for like 10 years. They sell you a device that plugs in the USB on your phone so you can take credit card payments. So they don't have anything to do with any cash whatsoever, so how would they know?
We have a few vehicles involved here and some motors out on the roadway. It's only the left lane block, but it is really starting to slow things down southbound Don Valley Parkway from south of Lawrence to approaching Don Mills. You might want to use Don Mills instead as an alternative and take that onto the ramp to the southbound Don Valley Parkway and be back on your way. Don Mills, Bayview, they're pretty good options right now. On the northbound Don Valley Parkway, the ramp from northbound Don Mills to northbound DVP is also closed because of a collision. We have an assortment of emergency crews here. Westbound 401, it's a bit busy from Dixon to the 427. Had issues here earlier. It looks like they've been cleared away. And if you're traveling on the eastbound QEW, expect a slow go approaching Royal Windsor to Ford Drive. Mass quality matters. Order your essential pandemic products from Surgo.com and get free shipping on orders over $75 within Ontario. That's Surgo.com. Your next report is at 2:41. And now with the forecast, here is Jason Fraser.
Well, Christine, even though we're starting to see the rain start to end here in downtown Toronto, we are getting quite a bit of low-level cloud cover, so visibilities around the region are going to be impacted. We continue to see rain showers on the eastern edge of the GTA, so if you are traveling there, just be very careful. Can't rule out the possibility of another stray shower or some flurries later on tonight. Low temperature of -2. 8 degrees right now at Pearson. Our guaranteed high, 11 degrees.
680 News Time, 2:33. Happening now at Nathan Phillips Square, hundreds of people have gathered to speak out against anti-Asian hate, which has seen a spike since the start of the pandemic, both here and abroad. 680's Caitlin Lee joins us live with the latest. Caitlin.
You hear what he just did? Say what he just did. And by the way, he's white. Don't tell me about his skin tone. British educated in a British colony. Insists that First Nations stole the word Indian. You hear what he just said? Since the pandemic this started. Yeah, because they're obviously responsible for the pandemic. No, this started a long time ago. Your railroads are 200 years old. Who built them?
Unity, saying there is a long history of systemic racism against Asian people in Canada and Toronto.
We are angered by the attacks against our seniors and how they have been abused and mistreated, knocked down, punched, and verbally abused by racists across North America.
And Kenneth Lin is the co-chair of the Chinese Canadian National Council Toronto
chapter. This rally comes following a disturbing report from the Chinese Canadian National Council last week. Over 1,100 incidents of anti-Asian hate have been reported across Canada since the beginning of the pandemic. 60% of those incidents involved victims who identified as women. And heavy on the hearts of many at this rally is that mass shooting in Atlanta this month that killed.
They identified as women, meaning they're the tranny sex workers from the spa that got shot up, right?
680 News Time 2:34. Field police continue to search for a suspect as well as his alleged captor following a kidnapping early this morning. They say a 23-year-old woman was taken against her will from a home in the Mayfield and Mississauga Road area early this morning. 680's Adam Steinberg has the latest.
It was just before 3 this morning in the area of Mississauga and Mayfield Road when police received a call about a 21-year-old man banging on a 23-year-old woman's door. When officers arrived, they were met by the suspect. One of those officers on scene discharged their firearm, and the suspect took off.
We believe that she is in that vehicle unwillingly. We've identified the suspect, 21-year-old Kwame Garwood.
A photo of Kwame Garwood, who is known to police, is posted to 680news.com. The SIU has also launched its own investigation, which is the case following interactions resulting in death, serious injuries, or allegations of sexual assault. I'm Adam Steinberg.
680 News Time 2:35. Ontario is reporting another day above 2,000 COVID-19 cases, and it includes a rise in variants of concern and the 7-day rolling average. This as Ontario prepares to ease restrictions for the regions in the gray zone. We'll have coverage on that in a moment. For 680's Madison Fitzpatrick has the latest on today's numbers.
Ontario is reporting 2,448 new cases of COVID-19 today, with 19 new deaths from the virus. There are 780 new cases in Toronto, 356 in Peel Region, and 278 in York Region. During the opening of the clinic at the Malvern Community Centre, Toronto Mayor John Tory says more than 453,000 residents have been given their first shot.
This is and will be the largest vaccination effort in the history of the city, and it's going to be successful. It's going to be successful because we're off to a great start with the clinics that Chief Pig and a whole team of people have put together, and with the staff who have been trained to do this in a way that is sensitive and efficient.
The number of hospitalizations remains above 900, with 366 of those patients in the ICU. Patients on ventilators has risen to above 200. However, due to it being the weekend, the province says more than 10% of hospitals have not reported their numbers. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick.
Why would that be?
And the Ford government has announced it is reopening some businesses with limited capacity and other restrictions for those in the gray zone starting tomorrow. Here's 680's Michelle Morton with more.
Starting tomorrow, outdoor fitness classes, sports, and personal training will be up and running again. The loosened restrictions will have active screening, seeing 10 people participating at a time, and each person physical distancing 3 meters from the other. Outdoor capacity for weddings, funerals, religious services, rites, and ceremonies will also allow for the number of people that can maintain a physical distance of 2 meters. No change for social gatherings with those services, such as receptions. But a message from Premier Doug Ford.
Well, don't be having people over. That's where the problem starts. If you start having parties out, at your house and, so on and so forth as the weather warms up. So we should all be on high alert. Absolutely high alert.
2 weeks tomorrow, hair and nail salons and body art establishments can open up again, operating at 25% capacity or 5 people and subject to physical distancing. I'm Michelle Morton.
680 News Time 2:38. If you live in Toronto and are eligible for a COVID-19 vaccine but don't have a way to get to your appointment, starting tomorrow, the city is launching a pilot program to help with that. Here's 680's Moment Qureshi.
Starting tomorrow, Mayor Tory says the city is giving people who may not have access to transportation a ride so they can get their COVID-19 vaccine.
The city is piloting transportation options for seniors aged 75 years of age and over by extending service hours for assisted ride services provided by community organizations.
Tory says the vaccine equity transportation plan will also be extended to people who have disabilities or are immunocompromised who don't have any other access to a ride. It's being done through a partnership with some agencies, as well as the TTC and Uber. Mayor Tory says the city just wants to make sure people who
So if you want to kill off people with disease, you have to get them
into
the same common place over and over to expose them to the pathogen.
At 680news.com.
The car. They're not going to clean the cars
Isn't
between
just
each
paid, it's
person.
often unpaid as well, and COVID has shown.
If they don't do it for Wheel-Trans, they won't do it for this either. Hey, Wheel-Trans already exists. What's this pilot project?
Russell is the author of Canada, A Working History.
Unpaid work has become so essential, especially with people trying to work from home and do their paid work while also doing their domestic work, and most importantly, trying to look after kids at the same time that they're doing all these other things. And most importantly, it's women who are normally doing this.
Russell also looks at how the world of work may evolve.
Perpetuate the stereotype.
Many of us have taken to
Then we all
work
know common
He
sense.
doesn't
That's
think
how
the
it is.
temporary measure
Hey,
will have a
the same.
permanent impact.
These people
arguing many
are at
essential
work,
vocations
so they don't have to
will
be with
still
their
need to be
kids.
done in
That's the
person.
nature of just like they buy a TV set or a dog. They don't care.
Excitement for the bigger spin scratch ticket is great at home.
And that's the same people telling us they're the co-parents of our kids, and they can take care of our kids better than we can, and they know our culture better than we do. There's groups in Germany that do their own powwows and things, and they got some of it not quite historically right. And they don't want any of our people. They don't want to hear from us. We don't exist. Real Indians don't exist. They're going to do it their way. Oh, okay. I'm not hating on that group in particular. I can understand why they don't want input from anybody. Just sort of understand it. We're just going to stick with what we do know. I can understand that. But it's the same fucking groups. It's all the same groups doing this shit.
You can lease a 2021 CRV Onyx from a new lower payment of just $81 weekly at 2.99% and zero down, including the new $750 Honda.
So they're always telling us people join gangs for a sense of belonging. All you people are telling yourselves how essential you are because you need to be needed. And yeah, if you're real quick, you know the word codependency.
If you have
If you aren't dependent on these people, they get fucking
with the
angry.
government running massive deficits, CRA is cracking down harder than ever before. It is
White
only a
guy
matter
out there
of
that just
time
tried to hit me
until
with
they
his car
find
door
you. CRA
is
can
a
garnish
social
your
worker,
wages,
caseworker.
empty your bank account, leave
Right.
your house, or recommend
Since I don't need him, he's going to kill me with his car
If
because
you
he's
make a
got a
mistake,
car that
call
makes
Mark
him
Feldstein,
big.
Chartered
But that
Professional
problem solved.
Accountants now. Visit markfeldstein.ca. markfeldstein.ca.
680 News Time 241. Traffic weather together, Christine.
And this report is brought to you by Leon's on the northbound Don Valley Parkway. The ramp from northbound Don Mills
Opportunistic
is
criminality
blocked in Essex in a collision.
racist.
We have emergency crews.
Oh, there's a nigger. I'll hit him with my car. One tool you have at your disposal. You're going to do no different than these crackheads throwing their beers at me. They're getting mad they don't have a beer.
Starting to slow
That's
from
my
south of
fault.
York Mills to approaching Don Mills. It's all because of this collision. Only the left lane is blocked, so I'm not too sure why it's so slow, but there's not much breathing room here, and it looks like a fire crew is maneuvering itself into lane 2. So
because white
it looks
people
like the
deserve
left
breathing. I
lane as
forgot
well as
that.
the center lane are blocked. Hopefully
Breathing
this will
room.
be very short. If you're traveling on the southbound
White
Don
people
Valley Parkway,
automatically
you might want to
deserve
exit at
breathing
York Mills
room.
and try using Don Mills. You can try Bayview or even Victoria Park to get around this issue. Eastbound QEW is busy from Royal Windsor to Ford Drive, and just hearing about problems blocking the southbound 410 ramp to the westbound 407. The savings have sprung during Leon's Spring It On sale. Shop special prices on furniture, mattresses, appliances, patio furniture, and more. Limited time only. Visit leons.ca for details. Your next report is at 2:51. Now with the forecast, here is Jason Fraser.
Well, for those of you on the west side, Christine, who have been listening to us, you know that the rain is finally starting to end for you. But those of you on the east side of the GTA continue to see some rain showers, and that includes Peterborough as well as parts of Oshawa right now. So what's going to end up happening is we'll continue to see cloudy skies for the rest of the afternoon, and can rule out the possibility
34 steps, 3.83 kilometers.
We'll dip down to -2, and then tomorrow we'll see sunny skies as high pressure takes over. Here, high temperature near 9 degrees. 8 degrees right now at Pearson, our guaranteed high, 11 degrees.
680 News Time 243.
Well, you can tell when it's rainy and cold and so forth.
You run a business. You run with unknowns.
Jeans rolled all the way down. But the leg also, yeah, I can't have that touching my legs normally. Can't have the dirty garbage water hitting me either.
The future is yours to shape.
From payments to point of sale, shape the future of your business at Square.ca. Square.
Let's see if I get something in my hands to make me more useful.
I'm so over this. I don't even know anyone who's had COVID-19, and it's not like I'm at risk. We don't see many people, just a few neighbors and close friends.
That number.
It's fine. We wear a mask and everything. We're really careful.
Excuses won't
Nah,
stop
they
the
look
spread
almost
of
the same.
deadly
What the hell?
COVID-19 virus.
Looks like I did anyway.
We all get the vaccine. Stay home as much as possible. Visit ontario.ca/COVID-19 for more information. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Hey, it's 2:45. Well, it's 2:44.
Toronto's news.
Looks like the rain has slowed here in downtown Toronto. Still overcast, though, and currently 6 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm Asher Ross.
I'm Zach Bodenstein. Here's what's making news right now.
Happening now at Nathan Phillips Square, politicians, community organizers, and a prominent documentary filmmaker are among the hundreds that have gathered at a rally against anti-Asian racism. Police continue their search for 23-year-old Selena Ook, who was kidnapped from the Mayfield and Mississauga Road area of Brampton earlier this morning. Her alleged captor, 21-year-old Kwame Garwood, is still at large. He's considered to be armed and dangerous. Field police say they will be providing an update in about 15 minutes. And by this time tomorrow, Ontario communities in lockdown will have expanded capacity for weddings, funerals, and religious services, and will be allowed to host outdoor fitness classes. This comes even as Ontario confirms 2,448 new COVID-19 cases and 19 more COVID-related deaths, while the number of Ontarians on ventilators has now climbed above 200. 680 News Time, 2:45. Time now for 680 Sports, and for that we head to Sportsnet 590 The Fan and check in with Ben Lewis. Ben.
1523. Get it? No.
Favorite gets welcome back tonight. The Raptors.
It's also the number of the bridge I used to sleep under down at City Hall.
After working a trade
Coincidences, I know.
deadline with them, where they sent guard Norm Powell to Portland in exchange for guard Gary.
Tell the home they had shared for over 40 years. Understandably, she was quite stressed. She was quite sad. She called Frank Leo and Associates of Remax for help, and the multi-million-dollar marketing system was put into action. In 1 week, she had 19 offers and sold for $309,000 over asking. Mary had some very modest expectations. She could not have been more thrilled with the results. So, of course, if you're thinking of making a move, think and trust in Frank Leo and Associates, because you want to work with an agent.
Il y a des choses quand même.
They say no, you know. I mean, it's so.
I knew I heard that. Yes, drive right through the intersection, dumbass. That's bad. That's bad. It's coming from down there, going up there. Yeah, it didn't come from either of the local fire stations. That's bad.
Sangha members from.
God damn it. How the fuck did it get so far up here?
.ca for details. You're listening to All News Radio. This is 680 News. It's 2:48. The federal Conservatives are calling on Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to appear before a parliamentary committee tomorrow to answer questions about the government's now dead deal with the weed charity. Conservative MP Pierre Poilievre says,
and they keep saying this charity's like 30 years old or some shit, and you never heard of it. It used to be called Feed the Children. You go, oh! They didn't mention that for the first year, but
to testify before the ethics committee.
Only ministers should testify, says he, about the conduct of staff in their offices. Who's the minister responsible for staff in the PMO? Well, wouldn't you know? The Prime Minister himself. So we have a deal. We will accept a compromise. If Trudeau's staffers can't testify, then he can.
Trudeau's office has not yet said whether or not the PM will respond to the Tories' demand or allow the staff members to appear. This is 680 News. Well, imagine a turtle the size of a mid-sized car. 680's Curtis Doring has more in This Week in Science.
It wasn't the largest turtle to ever live, but it did have the biggest shell. Stupendous geographicus prowled the lakes and rivers of northern and South America between 13 and 7 million years ago.
Damn it! You make it sound like this shit's happening right now.
More about what these creatures were like. Mostly what they were is huge, growing up to 4 meters long and weighing well over a ton. That would have helped them defend against the 11-meter-long crocodiles, which stopped the area at the time. The males boasted front-facing horns on both sides of their shells, likely used for sparring with other males over mates and territory. And from its lower jaw, we know its diet was pretty diverse, fruits and seeds, but also small animals like snakes and caimans. As plate tectonics pushed the Andes higher, the Stupendous' habitat slowly disappeared, and their massive size was no longer enough to keep them alive. But today, the remains offer a glimpse at a time when the Earth was dominated by giants. With This Week in Science, I'm Curtis Doring.
680 News Time, 2:50.
Need a car today, a much better way. Visit OntarioCars.ca.
Listen here, my friend, and I'll offer a little advice. Why scour the city looking for a used or new car when you can easily visit OntarioCars.ca and find a large selection to choose from? Couldn't be simpler. No clutter, just cars. There's all-in pricing from our trusted sellers too, and all purchases are protected by a compensation fund. Find your gem at OntarioCars.ca.
OntarioCars.ca. Welcome to the Little Days. Because let's see what kind of the little big things. First month delivery fee is free. DoorDash. Please enter the minimum terms apply.
680 News Time, 2:51. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by Rogers Wireless. Finally, some good news here. Southbound John Valley Parkway approaching Don Mills. Collision has been cleared away. It wasn't there for too long, but it's left this delay from south of York Mills to south of Eglinton. It is starting to pick up, though, so just to bear that in mind, you're going to find a slight delay on the southbound Don Valley Parkway as you travel south of Eglinton. The northbound Don Mills ramp to northbound DVP is still closed because of a crash. We have emergency crews on scene here. And on the southbound 410, the ramp to westbound 407 blocked because of a crash. And on the eastbound QEW, I'm just looking at a slight delay from Royal Windsor to Ford Drive. East and westbound 401 across the GTA in quite good shape, even seeing some sunshine here and there. And the Gardner Expressway is moving well into and out of downtown. Rogers Days to Save is on now. For a limited time, get exclusive savings on the latest and greatest devices. Act fast because these deals won't last long. Your next report is at 3:01. And now with the forecast, here's Jason Fraser.
Well, Christine, you mentioned that some parts of the GTA are seeing some sunshine right now. Yeah, the majority of us who are seeing the sunshine on the western side of the GTA. Those of you on the eastern side still dealing with a little bit of some rain showers, but everyone right now is still seeing some clouds in around the GTA, especially in downtown Toronto right now, just seeing mainly cloudy skies. Overnight, though, we'll see the clouds clear, and we'll see temperatures also decline to around -2 degrees tomorrow. It'll be sunny, a high of 9 degrees. Our warmest day of the week will be on Tuesday, where we'll reach a high of 15 degrees, but then rain is possible for Wednesday, as we'll top out right around 4 degrees. 8 degrees right now at Pearson. Our guaranteed high, 11 degrees.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Dynamic Funds. Being active is better than being reactive. Dynamic Funds doesn't just take what the market gives. Ask a financial advisor about active management and learn more at dynamic.ca/advice. A massive rally against anti-Asian hate is happening now outside Toronto City Hall. We'll give you the latest from the square. We're just a few minutes away from an update from investigators on a kidnapping in Brampton that happened early this morning. And another day, over 2,000 COVID-19 cases in Ontario, even as some restrictions are set to ease starting tomorrow. We'll have the details on these stories and more coming up at the top of the hour. 680 News Time, 2:54.
If you think it's time to get outside, look no further than the 2021 Toyota RAV4. With its refined interior and remarkable fuel economy, you sure can cover a lot of outside, all while remaining safely inside. Lease the 2021 Toyota RAV4 LE all-wheel drive from $88 weekly at 4.99% APR for 48 months with $2,500 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or shop safely at your local Ontario Toyota dealer. You're listening to 680 News.
Well, the investigation continues after a prayer space at Pearson Airport was found vandalized Friday night. 680's Enrique Amaturo has the latest.
Witnesses say they found the Muslim prayer space at Terminal 3 vandalized on Friday. Toronto Pearson Airport says they're working with Peel Police to investigate what they call a deplorable crime. In a statement, Pearson says the airport is a place connecting Canada to the world and represents different beliefs, opinions, and perspectives. It continues to add that anyone traveling for essential purposes to not let the acts of a few overshadow the values that Canadians hold dear. Pearson says they'll give updates on the investigation when they have them. I'm Enrique Amaturo.
And 2 more mass vaccination clinics are set to open across the city tomorrow, one at Malvern Community Recreation Center and the other at Mitchell Field Arena. Mayor John Tory says that the openings were actually delayed because the city lacked adequate supply in order for both of them to open, but that will change tomorrow. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll take you to the business center. 680 News Time, 2:55.
Are you ready to start shopping in an actual store again? Good news! FactoryDirect.ca is now open for in-store shopping. To celebrate, we're offering Foxy Canada 3,000 mortgages renew. Important announcement. If your
and there's what, a $400 application fee for each one, right?
1.15% 5-year
Oh, that's legal.
renewal.
Advanced fee loans are illegal, but they can charge.
Mortgage as your bank. If you qualify, you save thousands. 1.15% 5-year variable mortgage. ButlerMortgage.ca.
I'm not guaranteeing I'll find any useful information on it.
High ratio variable rate APR 1.16%.
The following musical interlude is dedicated to Jamie and Nora, a couple whose love for golden doodles and golf, and obscure Scandinavian folk metal, and blush mimosas, and late 90s sitcoms makes them a totally 100% one-of-a-kind match. And at Spence Diamonds, we celebrate love in all its
offers some interesting insights into how
There's another sign.
is an economist with Square.
Of the 5 countries that we looked at, Canada has really led the way in its movement away from cash in many respects.
Is there any indication are
Do we
doing
have
that
digital money
willingly,
like
or
China
just,
or
logistical?
No, I mean it seems fairly willingly, you know, like
dinar? No. Do we borrow it off private banks? No, we make it ourselves. Here's the sign of it. We're leading. There's already other countries where the banknotes they have left are all beat up and the stores refuse to take cash. I don't know how they expect their economy to last, but that already exists, so we are not ahead of the game. But I tell you.
to maneuver between the 6 of them. There are fewer cats to herd than in a country like in the United States, where it's a lot more dispersed.
So do you expect this trend to stick?
Yeah, there's already a lot of evidence pointing to the fact that a lot of the changes that we've seen are going to stick around. And you think about, just logistically why that might be so. If you're a business owner and you've introduced these new payment options as a result of the pandemic to kind of comply by social distancing guidelines, you're not suddenly going to take that away when the pandemic is over. And over the course of the last 12 months, consumers have changed their habits a little bit. And evidence for that is in the share of transactions that you see being made with cash, even in person. So like if we just isolate payments that are being made in person, the share of cash has dropped very noticeably over the course of the past 12 months.
Felipe Chacon is with Square. And at the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Since 1967, Green Park Group has built over 75,000 homes and condos. Green Park's legacy of consistency, quality, and service has not changed. Whether it's a single-family home or a condominium,
77 steps per minute, 3.99 kilometers.
3,997.
This is the root of the Green Park difference, which can be seen in every community and every condo building. Building all across the GTA. Visit greenparkgroup.ca.
Being a new mom isn't easy, but hugging's easy. Loving's easy. And baby D-drops are easy too. Simply apply just one drop where baby feeds. There's no taste, so it doesn't interfere with feeding. Pediatricians recommend vitamin D.
Try to use the phone. This is when it's gonna break. This is so creative, Filmo.
Right now in downtown Toronto, it is overcast and 6 degrees. It feels like +3 when you factor in the wind.
Keep trying to access the PayPal thing too. And then that inherently makes the Google Play services come up. Yeah, it won't work. Your exploit won't work. The app doesn't cooperate with what you're doing.
It's 680 News.
It's Sunday, March 28th. Good afternoon. I'm Zach. Here's what's making news this hour.
Watching signs that
Peel police investigating a suspected kidnapping in Brampton.
A male was screaming and banging on a door of a residence.
The search is now on for 21-year-old Kwame Garwood.
more vaccination centers are opening across the GTA.
I'm going to keep swiping away all the things you're opening up, and I'm going to keep bringing it back to what I want.
If you live in Toronto and are eligible for the vaccine but have not booked your appointment yet because you don't have a ride, starting tomorrow, the city is launching a pilot project to help with that. Happening now.
Please keep closing the tab and then navigating to some weirdo site with pictures of kids on it. You fucking move.
And we have 16 at March Madness Sports at 15.
An application requires Google Play services. Why are you trying to pull up apps that won't run? They're disabled, stupid. You don't know how to enable them, do you? I thought you were a hacker.
Capital gains.
680 news time, 3:01. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones with Toronto's most frequent traffic reports. Here's Christine Lygos.
Thank you, Zach. This report is brought to you by Foodland Ontario. Those problems on the southbound Don Valley Parkway approaching Don Mills have cleared, but it's really
no matter what I do, it's going to navigate where it wants.
Is busy from York Mills to
Please pull up more pictures of fucking little kids shoving things in their mouth next to pictures of dudes pistoning. That's fucking disgusting, bro. But that's obviously what you watch after you get off my channel, because no matter what, that's what comes up after one of these videos. And I'm not watching my own videos. Right.
Across the GTA, you're looking pretty good this Thursday, I can see. And if you're traveling on the eastbound QEW, you'll just find it busy now approaching 4 Drive.
This moron's really, he doesn't believe that the apps he's trying to open up aren't there.
That's blocked because of an earlier collision. Foodland Ontario reminds you to buy local. Look and ask for Ontario greenhouse tomatoes when you shop. After all, good things grow in Ontario, paid for by the government of Ontario. Your next report is at 3:11.
No end to
Here's
these.
Jason Fraser.
Well, Christine, we're starting to see the showers.
Buddy, you're just making my joint last longer.
Can't rule out, though, the possibility
I've
of
been
a
at this for
shower
10 minutes,
overnight
bro.
will drop down to around -2 degrees. And
Is that what makes you that angry? Why don't you stick your head out your apartment door when I'm walking by? You send the white boy today, both of them.
-2 degrees.
Yeah, the third one there watching, he's terrified to fucking see me anyway after what he pulled
News
off.
time 3:02. Happening now at Nathan Phillips Square, hundreds are rallying in solidarity to end anti-Asian
That's all he can do. It's like the dude that masturbates in public. There's no anything else to his brain. He's just press the button as if it's a picture of a kid's asshole he has to keep touching.
Square out in the rain. They're cheering for those speaking against a problem that has escalated during the pandemic.
Asian
Incidents of
racism and Asian hate. Remember, for a week now, they've been telling us end Asian hate, not anti-Asian hate.
Canadian Labor Alliance says her heart grieves for the 6 Asian American women who were murdered in Atlanta this month.
Because they were sex workers. Say it. Say it. Just like you say, since the pandemic started. Not 1867. Since the pandemic started. Right. That's when the racism against Asians started in Canada, was last year when they brought the virus. So it's their own fault, right?
The message here,
remembering that Spain had COVID in March, and China didn't get it till November. That's 8 months. That's 2/3 of a fucking year. That rounds up to a full year. Just like 2 meters rounds up to 7 feet.
There's also a spokesperson from
Keep it up,
the Asian Migrant and Sex Worker Support Network making a plea in the wake of that shooting in Atlanta.
Recognize sex workers' work. Eliminate discrimination against sex workers.
Of those over 1100
So this is what you keep asking for. You'll let women speak as long as they're stupid.
60% of the victims identified as women. Reporting live.
Let this one talk as long as she keeps repeating the same racist bullshit. Sex work is work. Hardly. You've missed the point completely. It's work. Therefore, you shouldn't be beating on these Chinese prostitutes because they're working. Working. Hey, why are you working? No, I'm being dead serious. There's only 40 million people in this country. Why are any of you working? You can't explain that to me. Outside of trying to get rid of your guilty thoughts all day. And you all believe this thing that was over the Auschwitz about work will set you free. You all believe it. You edit it into your religious text. So Como lives 2 floors above me, and he's fucking pissed. I dared to walk past his door just now. All he can do. I'll send it again. Buddy, why aren't you fucking up the Android bot? You are, but you can't.
He's considered armed and dangerous. They say he's not to be approached. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is
turn on the Bluetooth. That's right. But then you turn off the Wi-Fi and turn on the flight mode because you don't believe that these scripts are just one thing. You don't believe it. You think you're a hacker and you're a hacker buddy. You know, keep it real. Rape kids all day. Keep it real, right? Everybody I've seen you talk to is a fucking child rapist. Every last one of them.
Madison Fitzpatrick has more on the latest numbers.
The province is reporting 2,448
They're all white supremacists. Not one of them is black.
Today, pushing the 7-day rolling average to above 2,000 for the first time since the end of January. There are 780 new cases in Toronto, 356.
No, it's trying to trick me into turning off the flight mode. It's off. The phone can connect. If you would stop getting in the way, dumbass. You keep turning it on. It's not me you're stopping, it's you.
Cases was 78. And speaking today at the Malvern Community Center,
Malvern
provided an update on vaccinations in the city.
More than 453,932
So you put an A sound after the MAL? Yeah, Malad, French for bad, sick.
This weekend and 29 other
She just did that. Well, her name is Santa Ba. So she knows all about that.
The province also reported 19 new deaths today, the 5th consecutive day of double-digit fatalities.
Who's Keenan? Whose Wi-Fi you trying to connect to? No, he's literally trying to log into Wi-Fi. He does not believe it's tomorrow.
Here's 680's Michelle Morton with the details.
Outdoor fitness classes will be running again, allowing 10 people with 3-meter physical distancing and active screening tomorrow. Outdoor capacity for weddings, funerals, religious services, rites, and ceremonies will also allow for a number of people
that idiots that a long
maintain
time. You thought I was joking.
2 meters.
You thought when this pandemic thing started, they started saying 2 meters, somehow you could pretend that that's what I was talking about. The problem is you ain't been in this neighborhood that long, so all the people who heard me say that before.
And to be outside, to get fresh air. What I want people to do, is just to follow the protocols. That's absolutely critical.
April 12th is when you can book your cut and foils. Personal care services such as barbershops, nail salons, and tattoo parlors can operate at a limited capacity and by appointment only. I'm Michelle Morton.
The City of Toronto is launching a pilot project to help people get to their vaccine appointments. 680's Momin Qureshi has more.
If you're eligible to get a vaccine and you live in Toronto, Mayor Tory says the city wants to make sure you have a way to get to your appointment.
City is providing funding to Toronto Ride, iRide, and Scarborough Ride to provide assisted transportation to eligible seniors, adults with disabilities, and adults who are immunocompromised who reside in Toronto to and from vaccination appointments in the City of Toronto.
Tory says
But you won't stop Wheel-Trans from forcing immunocompromised people to share rides with other immunocompromised people.
He says the TTC will soon be part of the program.
The TTC is also working with the city to
And just so you know, those cabs under contract to Wheel-Trans, they're 12-hour shifts. They get paid the meter rate for the full 12 hours. So there is no break for them to stop and clean the car. None.
With no
There's no
cost
opportunity
rides to and from vaccination sites starting in April.
You can learn more at 680news.com. I'm Momin Qureshi.
And we'll check the price of gas coming up next. 680 News Time.
He's going through every fucking Wi-Fi network. Now he's trying to get it to share files.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877.
Whole city are doing nothing for the next 3 hours, waiting for the city to tie himself out.
The former Chief of Defense Staff, General Jonathan Vance. So we have the current ombudsman siding with the previous ombudsman, with his predecessor, against the Minister of National Defense. Colonel Michel Drapeau joins us. He's been a guest of mine many times over the years. He was in the Canadian military for more than 30 years. He's a lawyer specialized.
Why do you refuse to call it by its proper name, bro?
Ottawa. It's Michel Drapeau Law Office, MDLA.ca. Colonel Drapeau, am I right? Am I correct, or am I missing something when I say, in my view, this has devolved into something it wasn't supposed to be?
Yeah, I mean, it's currently out of control. And I think the government believes that just by the sheer passage of time, the Canadian public will get fatigued from it. And it's currently off the main page. And the public is turning its attention to something else. And I wouldn't be surprised if later on this week or next week, Parliament is not in session, that the Ministry or government or both will announce their solution. And their solution will be, I'm pretty sure, will be, we will leave it to the Ministry to fix themselves. The problem. That's what we've done in every instance, because it's not the first time we have issued sexual misconduct of the forces. I mean, it goes back 1990, 93, 94, when Maclean Magazine produced 3 front cover stories on it. We had Russell Williams in 2010. We had Madame Deschamps with a report in 2015, and on and on. In every instances, the government has turned to the military and say, fix it. The last time when Madame Deschamps produced a report, the military came up with Operation Honor, and we know that this did not lead to any successful outcome. It created its own reporting center inside National Defense Headquarters, as opposed to what Madame Deschamps recommended to be an external, independent center. And the thing goes on. On the issue of former Ombudsman Walborn, absolutely right, and I agree with his position. He could not, by direction provided to him when they established the position of ombudsman in what became to be known as ministerial directives, if an allegation was made against the CDS or the deputy minister, he had no choice, no other avenue but to report it to the minister and leave it to the minister to do whatever he deemed necessary in order to get to the bottom of it.
So Operation Honor is cancelled. That's the investigation into sexual misconduct in the Canadian military. Do I hear you saying that even when it was conceived and then put into operation, into practice, there was never an intent to really come up with something significant of no value?
That's right. Madame Deschamps made 10 recommendations. Most of them have not been.
Well, what's Charles doing to perpetuate this some more?
2015. But the central point
You heard his rhetoric about are these military people complaining about something that's real or not real?
Many victims don't
He wants a white dude to tell him whether women are being attacked in the military or not.
System, and more so,
Now that he's got a white dude telling him
reprisals, so they don't report the crime. And in order to assist that, in order to give some type of protection and some type of confidence to those victims, she recommended that a reporting center be established, external and separate from the military. And the military turned around and placed it under the control of the deputy minister. And with the result that we have now, I mean, there's no change. And Madame Deschamps, she appeared again before
I guess we'll call it the People's Army of Canada, the Canadian militia, than there are in the CF.
Basically, she says most of
these guys' way of maintaining control of the army is to get everybody out that is not a rapist, a racist, rapist, meth head. Oh yeah.
Had no confidence in 2015.
I mean, you get guys like this, that's all who's left to get promoted to colonel. Right. You're supposed to respect his rank somehow. I've been watching this for 30 years.
He basically suddenly retired from the forces and basically told the public what she thought of it and why she did it.
Do you expect anything to really change, or is it just going to be an ongoing series of, no, I'm not responsible, no, he's responsible, no, he didn't do it correctly, no, just passing the buck?
That's what I'm expecting, unfortunately. And unless the public, there is a groundswell in the public to request this government to act, and it has to be government, and more significantly, it has to be Parliament. So I'm encouraged by the fact that there is, in fact, a parliamentary committee of national defense investigating it, but their power is limited, particularly within a minority government, to force changes. One of the things that has to happen, Parliament has to be involved in the selection of the next Chief of the Defence Staff. More than that, has to be involved, and it's not involved at the moment, in the selection of senior officers coming of the Army, of the Air Force, of the Navy, of the Chief of Military Personnel. All of these individuals currently are picked by the Chief of the Defence Staff and rubber stamped by the Minister. There is no external control, no external review, no parliamentary oversight over it. So until we do this, first, and second, that we establish an Inspector General, somebody who reports to Parliament, somebody to whom the victims would have the confidence that they can trust them with their complaint, and trust also that this matter would be investigated properly and accountability will come to the fore, then we will be back to exactly the same situation we were a couple of months ago. At the moment, I believe government is bidding for times, and in the process, people will forget, people will move on, and we already are moving on with other issues. So we're giving them, in fact, a way clear to do as they wish, and what they wish is to provide it back to the military, let them fix, let them come up with a new Operation Honor. And then if we do, we will have not learned from these mistakes which, by the way, are publicized. I remember seeing a piece last week in the New York Times, in the Washington Post. I mean, the Canadian military, in general,
adding shit to my fucking home screen. Oh, you're mad. You left this one alone for 5 minutes.
Worldwide, and particularly among our allies. And the military cannot fix that. It has to be fixed by the elected powers, that is, government.
Now, there is no shortcut to bring up these screens the way it's doing it. This is being done internally. There's no connection between these apps.
Earlier this week, that in fact provides a remedy.
This is what child molesters do all fucking day on the internet, harassing people.
Colonel Drapeau, thank you so much for the time. It's always great talking to you. Thanks for the insight. Thank you. Colonel Michel Drapeau on the investigation that's supposed to be taking place in Parliament before the military committee.
8 fucking screens open.
Yeah, it's just, it's embarrassing.
You can't see this keeps bouncing up and down. There's no one touch to make it do that. You have to tap and swipe to make it come down. There's no halfway thing. So what's going on?
When we come back, we'll talk to Sherry Vincent-Podolchuk. She knows about the impact on a woman in uniform of being sexually harassed, assaulted, and otherwise bullied. Stay with us. It's the Roy Green Show on the Chorus Radio Network.
Because again, he'll only listen to it if it comes from a victim who has physical proof. And then you can gloat over the fact that she got raped.
and grow.
It's inherent in your DNA. We didn't have sexual abuse or rape on this continent until you people showed up.
And now is the perfect time with our Back to Business exclusive packages. Let us show you just how easy it is. Register to our
Look what you're doing right now. Look at how you act right now. It's yours. I can see it. So it's mine to fuck with.
These days, people want their dollars to go further. Well, if your dollars happen to be in your pocket and you happen to be inside a 2021 Toyota Corolla with remarkable fuel efficiency, you and your dollars will go a lot further together. Lease a 2021 Toyota Corolla LE from $59 weekly at 1.99% APR for 48 months with $1,500 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or shop safely at your local Ontario Toyota dealer.
Let's spin the wheel. Yes. Yes.
Excitement for the Bigger Spin scratch ticket is great at home.
Big spin.
Not so great at your local pottery class.
Big spin.
Ma'am, your clay's getting airborne.
It's in my hair. Woo!
Play the Bigger Spin Instant Scratch Ticket today. You could win a spin on the Bigger Spin wheel for a guaranteed win up to $1 million.
Are you stuck in GTA traffic at the end of the day?
What are we kidding? Of course you are. This is Alan Carter from Global News.
And I'm Barb Osler. Well, now you won't miss your local evening newscast.
You can now listen to Global News at 6 right here on Global News Radio 640 Toronto.
Tune in for the latest breaking news, weather, and the GTA's top stories.
Listen to Global News at 6 with Alan Carter and Farah Nasser. Every weeknight right here on Global News Radio 640 Toronto. Subway Restaurants introduces new potato bun sidekicks. Soft buns made with Canadian potatoes, stacked with quality ingredients. Try all 4 mouth-watering varieties. Honey mustard ham, savory turkey ranch.
What's wrong, bro? Why don't you turn it on and make it do something? I'm gonna stand here and do nothing until you're fucking done, dumbass. We do this every fucking day, bro.
COVID-19 will transform the world of work.
Who broke your legs?
We shouldn't overstate its effects either.
People like you and I, we can work from home if we need to, right? But somebody that's working in a hospital can't. Somebody that's working in food services can't. Cops can't arrest people from their homes. It's things like this. For people whose jobs, because of technology, are able to work from home, I think you'll see that continue.
Cops can't arrest
most people, they're still going to be
from
going on the job every day.
Canada, a working history, is available from.
Why don't you tell us again how police have the most dangerous job in the world?
Your extended forecast together next.
Safest job statistically.
Thanks to your incredible support, Ontario, the Princess Margaret Home Lottery has once again sold out early. Proceeds will help fund innovative discoveries and treatments at Princess Margaret Cancer Center. Draws for all prizes will be completed early, and the grand prize winners and the 50-50 winner.
His cable bill must have got cut off, and then he scammed somebody to get the money and repay it or something. It's only $10. Well, he was gone for like 5 days, and now he's back again.
Sitting at home wondering how to save money? Why not start with your windows and doors? That's smart thinking. Ecotech Windows and Doors can help. With EcoSmart technology, our latest product line is Energy Star certified, which means...
Oh, that's not the same phone you're telling you. That's that one.
And right now, we pay the tax.
It doesn't tell you what kind of phone it is over the IP address, does it?
Now that's smart thinking.
You're stupid. No one's ever accused child molesters of being smart.
You can trust and afford. Learn more at ecotechwindows.ca.
680 News Time, 3:21. Now traffic and weather together with Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by Hickory.
30 minutes of this,
Decks.
wow.
The northbound John Mills ramp to
And what's
northbound
supposed to
Don
happen,
Valley
bro?
Parkway is still closed because of a collision. We have emergency
What's
crews
supposed to
on
happen?
scene.
30 minutes
A delay in the
to smoke
northbound
my
side, but
joint. And I'm
southbound
supposed to
Don Valley
what?
Parkway
What's the
remains
deal,
slow
bro?
from south of Eglinton to
You got everything in the
Don
fucking
Mills.
world to say in the
We have
chats
congestion
and to
on
try to
the
spit in
left
my
lane that has been cleared
face.
away. Just this backlog remains. And note their volume on the major routes from what I can see, but do keep in mind the southbound 410 rev to westbound 407, that's still blocked because of collision cleanup. Celebrating over 30 years of custom decks and happy customers, Hickory Dickory Decks offers the widest selection of low maintenance
He had to stop saying white rads, because all his friends are white methods. All of his friends are white methods.
Well, Christine, some good news right now. We're getting a break from all of the rain showers. We're seeing just a quick peak of some sunshine right now, and many of us are seeing lots of cloud cover. Now, there is a chance at seeing just a few light rain showers spark up, at least towards the latter half of the afternoon and into this evening, and we could end up seeing just a few flurries as well, but we'll see temperatures for everybody bottoming out below the freezing mark. Tomorrow, we'll see some sunshine and clearing skies, high of 9 degrees, so low temperature for tomorrow night, right around 0. For Tuesday, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds. It'll also be the warmest day of the week, high of 15 degrees, and then we'll see a cold front.
Don't worry, all these people get what comes to them in here.
Accompanied with some rain showers.
They ain't from there.
On Wednesday, of just 4 degrees. Right now,
they think they'll come here, start a fight, say that I started it, and I'll just disappear. It will be their corner.
With Healthy Planet. Healthy Planet is your essential source for high-quality vitamins, sports nutrition, and more. Now through April 14th,
they keep trying to tell me like I'm trying to take the corner from them. It's like, dumbass, all the shit you buy is from my friends.
Buy 2 for $6. Healthy Planet, serving you safely in-store, curbside, and online at
You hate that, don't you?
healthyplanet.com. Live life healthy.
Coming up at 3:30, hundreds currently rallying at Nathan Phillips Square in solidarity to end anti-Asian racism.
Well, that's not a rally then, because you could fit about 4,000 people at Nathan Phillips Square and have 20 feet between every single one of them. So that's not exactly a rally. You just lied again, bro. White guy. I know, you're going to insist he's actually Southeast Asian, and he's got... Nope.
Film lovers rejoice. The nominees for the Canadian Screen Awards are just around the corner. With a preview, here's 680's Julie Arulasi.
The awards honor the best in Canadian film and television.
It also sends a very distributed message to the victim that you don't count, and we're allowed to do whatever we want because we're senior officers.
This must bring back memories.
Didn't I just say that's what this piece of shit was doing?
Memories for you about how clumsy and defensive the inquiry.
The white guy who outranks her, which means he didn't get what's the word, attrition.
Well, we're not all like that. No, but if you don't do anything,
you just said what happened. Oh, let's see. Let me interview the rape victim, and then if she says she has physical proof of it and it would hold up in court, then maybe it's true.
And there was probably 30 or 40 people there, and he was trying to give me a kiss, and I backed up against the wall because it was repulsive. And he kissed me. I turned my face, and he got me on the side of my face, and everyone laughed.
Did you see how that pulled up from underneath? There is no shortcut on that menu to do that. That's not how that works.
When he's sober, because you can't argue with a drunk, to tell him how serious this
see, they'll let the women speak up as long as they say something. You can't argue with the drunk. Yeah, just let him do what he wants, because he doesn't know, because he'll forget he's not in charge, because he's drunk. No, that's not how it works. How come everybody else can drink and not have that problem, and then rapists somehow, it's the alcohol?
And it's still a question of, I think women are made to feel like they're not wanted. And if you enter the club,
they would tell me I don't have the right to an opinion unless I am an alcoholic. I can drink just like you, and I don't get addicted.
We have to acknowledge the victims here.
Most addictive substance on the planet. Dumbass, I'm trying to turn the Wi-Fi on, and you're turning it off. Look, you're not a hacker, bro. I know Bluetooth on this, the box, and the other mouse. I know.
Remain silent because they've watched somebody else speak up and watch what happened to them, and they're thinking, okay, well, maybe it's not so bad. I'll just put up with it, or I will let them do that to me, and I'll just sort of try and work my life.
Did you hear what she's talking about?
Around that particular
rapist had to tell her that. No woman thinks any of that inherently. Wow.
Physically or emotional, but
you're gonna make it vibrate. What does that mean, bro? That's as useful as eyes closed. Eyes closed.
And the needs of the victims so that they can recover and move forward. But they also need to move forward with their career. It's unfair that they are the troublemaker or other names.
Please whine some more. That's why they let you speak on this issue, because you're fucking it up.
I won't identify the writer. Good day, Mr. Green. You're the only media source I've turned to for truth. Thank you very much. Thank you. I spent over 10 years, he writes, in the CF, Canadian Forces. Although I have the utmost respect for the average soldier.
Because that's sort of a colloquialism they use amongst themselves, right? It's actually called what he wants to call it, right?
Where any person treated badly by the system and speaks out is silenced, isolated, demonized, or worse. I speak from personal experience. That just arrived.
What has to happen, Sherry?
Well, I liked what Colonel Drapeau
You see what he's
had
doing?
said
He's
about
collecting.
adopting most, if not all, of Madame
He's collecting.
Duchamp's,
He's getting all the,
I'm
by
not sure if I-
denying over and over, very subtly, he's going to have a whole list of emails of people saying, this happened to me, that happened to me, that you can look at home while he's jerking off. Because he's a sociopathic sex offender. He's not white supremacist. He doesn't have white privilege. Try again. Look at how old he is, what generation he is, and the job he worked this whole time. Oh, he's a government employee. That's right. Oh, shit.
And when those few people are at the top making decisions on things that are going to be policies that are going to be a part of Op Honor or the new whatever program they're going to have to replace Op Honor, it's so demoralizing for everybody else.
Sherry, I'm sorry. I have to stop
program to replace Op Honor. I thought you were in the Army. They don't just replace an Op with another one.
Sherry Benson, PedalCharge.com.
Well, those would be two separate things,
You
wouldn't
can
they?
find Sherry and the women not wanting
Unless you're the rapist trying to make it go away, and then you would do it that way. He has repeated everything.
The government of Canada
They
urges
approved
Canadians
her to
to
say.
avoid all non-essential travel. All travelers 5 years of age
She said
or
maybe
older
you're going to let it
entering
continue to
Canada must
happen, and
provide
maybe,
proof
but
of a
maybe
valid
you didn't
COVID-19 molecular
provide
test result.
the actual
Travelers
thing you
will
should
be
do.
tested again upon arrival. Air passengers are also required to book a 3-night stay at a government-authorized hotel at
He's
their own
getting email and
cost
text and
prior
email
to
and text
entering
right now
Canada.
after another.
Details at
Women saying that this happened to them and that happened to them. He's getting excited. That's how evil these people are.
Right now, being there for each other has never been more important. And while your vehicle may not be top of mind, your local crisis